What if I told you that something your baby does every single day, something that seems completely normal and innocent, could actually be an early sign that many parents miss? Not because they don't love their child, not because they aren't paying attention, but because no one ever told them what to look for. No one prepared them for the subtle differences that can appear so early in a child's life. Most parents only hear about autism when their child is much older, sometimes not until preschool or even elementary school. But the truth is, the earliest signs often appear quietly, hidden inside everyday behaviors that are easy to dismiss as personality traits, developmental variations, or just how my baby is. These signs can show up as early as 6 to 12 months, long before most parents even think about developmental screening. Before we begin, please tap like to help this video reach more parents who desperately need this information. And comment yes if you're watching, because you want to better understand your baby and be the best advocate you can be for them. Also, I need you to stay until the very end because the final sign is one of the most overlooked, and noticing it early can make a huge difference in your child's developmental trajectory. Before we go further, I need to be very clear about something crucial. This video does not diagnose autism. I am not a doctor, and this content is not a replacement for professional medical advice. Only trained professionals like developmental pediatricians, child psychologists, or autism specialists can make an accurate diagnosis after comprehensive evaluation. What we're discussing today are early developmental signs that deserve attention when they appear consistently over time, not just once or occasionally. Many babies show one or two of these behaviors occasionally, and that can be completely normal. All babies develop at their own pace, and there's a wide range of what's considered typical development. What matters most is patterns, not isolated moments. It's the consistency and combination of multiple signs that should prompt further observation and potentially professional consultation. Now let's begin with the signs you need to know about. Sign 1, limited or avoided eye contact. One of the earliest and most subtle signs parents often miss is limited or avoided eye contact. This can appear as early as 2 to 6 months of age. Babies are naturally drawn to faces from birth. From the earliest weeks of life, they look at eyes, follow expressions, study faces closely, and seem fascinated by human features. This is how they learn about emotions, communication, and social connection. But some babies consistently show different patterns. They rarely look into your eyes during feeding, play, or daily interactions. They look past you instead of at you, almost as if they're looking through you. They avoid eye contact during feeding or play, turning their gaze away when you try to engage. They seem more interested in objects, lights, or patterns than in faces. Some babies will look at your mouth or forehead, but rarely make direct eye-to-eye contact. This doesn't mean the baby is ignoring you or doesn't love you. It simply means their social attention may be developing differently. Eye contact can be uncomfortable or overwhelming for some babies who later receive an autism diagnosis. It's not about intention or emotion. It's about neurological differences in how they process social information. Occasional eye contact avoidance is normal. All babies sometimes look away, especially when tired, overstimulated, or focused on something else. But when eye contact is consistently missing across multiple situations and settings, when it's rare even during calm one-on-one interactions, it's something worth observing closely and documenting. Not to panic, not to label, just to notice and potentially discuss with your pediatrician. Sign 2, not responding to their name by around 6 to 9 months of age. Most babies begin responding when their name is called. This is a crucial social and communication milestone. They may turn their head toward the sound, make eye contact with the person calling, smile in recognition, or show some form of acknowledgement that they heard and understood that someone is trying to get their attention. Some parents say, "My baby hears fine." They react to sounds like the doorbell, the TV, or toys. And that's an important distinction to understand. This sign isn't about hearing ability or auditory processing. It's about social response and the understanding that their name is personally meaningful. A baby might startle at a loud noise, but not respond to their name being called softly and clearly. If a baby consistently does not react to their name, even when the environment is calm and quiet, when the voice is clear and directed at them, when there are no other distractions, it can be an early sign worth paying attention to. Try this simple test. Call your baby's name when they're playing calmly, wait 5 to 10 seconds, call again. Most babies will pause and look up by the second or third call. If this rarely happens, note the pattern and discuss it with your pediatrician. If this is something you've ever wondered about, if you've noticed this pattern, comment yes. You are not alone. Many parents have had this exact same concern. Sign 3, lack of gestures. This one is critical. This next sign is one of the most important and also one of the most frequently missed by parents and even some healthcare providers. Gestures are early communication tools that develop before spoken language. Before babies speak their first words, they communicate with their bodies in sophisticated ways. Typical gestures that should emerge between 9 and 14 months include pointing to show interest in objects or request things, reaching out with arms extended to be picked up, waving hello or goodbye when people arrive or leave, showing you objects they find interesting by bringing them to you or holding them up, clapping hands when excited or to imitate, and nodding or shaking their head for yes or no. These gestures are the building blocks of communication. Some babies don't use these gestures or use them very rarely or only when heavily prompted. They may grab your hand and physically move it to what they want instead of pointing, cry or become frustrated instead of using gestures to communicate needs, not show objects to share their interest or excitement, not wave even when others wave at them repeatedly, and not imitate simple actions like clapping or blowing kisses. These gestures are foundational for language development. Research shows that babies who gesture more tend to develop language earlier and more robustly. When gestures are missing consistently past 12 to 15 months, it's something that should not be ignored or dismissed as just being quiet or developing at their own pace. Pause here for a moment and really let this sink in. This sign alone has helped many parents seek early support, and early support dramatically changes developmental outcomes. Early intervention during the crucial first 3 years can significantly improve communication, social skills, and overall quality of life. Sign 4, repetitive movements or fixations. Repetition is normal in babies and toddlers. All young children engage in some repetitive behaviors as they learn about their world. But persistent, intense, and inflexible repetition can sometimes signal something more significant. Examples include repeated hand flapping, especially when excited, anxious, or overwhelmed, rocking back and forth for extended periods, sometimes for 10 to 20 minutes or more, spinning objects over and over, becoming upset if interrupted, fixating on parts of toys rather than using toys functionally, like staring at wheels spinning instead of pushing the car, lining objects up repeatedly in specific orders and becoming very distressed if the order is disrupted, staring at lights, fans, or spinning objects for prolonged periods with intense focus. What matters here is not what they do. Many babies occasionally do these things, but how often and how intensely they do it. If these behaviors dominate playtime, if they replace social interaction and functional play, if the child becomes extremely upset when interrupted, it's worth observing closely and documenting. Again, we're not labeling your child, we're not saying something is wrong. We're noticing patterns that might indicate your child could benefit from support or evaluation. These repetitive behaviors can serve important self-regulation functions for children, and understanding them helps us support children better. Sign 5, limited social interest. Many parents say, "My baby is just very independent, they're happy playing alone." And independence can absolutely be healthy. We want children to be able to entertain themselves. But babies are also naturally social creatures from birth. They're hardwired to connect with caregivers. Signs that social interest may be limited include rarely smiling back when you smile at them, not seeking comfort when upset, instead isolating or becoming more distressed when you try to help, preferring to play alone consistently, not seeking you out to share experiences or emotions, limited interest in interactive games like peekaboo or peta cake, not responding to facial expressions like if you look worried, they don't seem to notice or react. Babies typically enjoy shared moments, smiles, sounds, expressions, connection, turn-taking games. They look to caregivers for emotional cues, a process called social referencing. When that connection seems consistently absent across many situations, when your baby seems content in their own world without much interest in joining yours, it deserves attention and possibly evaluation. If this video is helping you understand your baby better, if you're finding this information valuable, please like it and share it with another parent who might need this information. Early awareness doesn't create fear. It creates opportunity. It opens doors rather than closing them. Sign 6, unusual reactions to sensory input. This is the final sign, and it's one of the most overlooked. Many babies who are later diagnosed with autism show unusual reactions to sensory experiences. They might be over-responsive to certain sensations, becoming extremely distressed by normal sounds like vacuum cleaners, blenders, or hand dryers, showing intense discomfort with certain clothing textures, tags, or seams, becoming very upset during routine care like hair washing, nail cutting, or toothbrushing, or being extremely bothered by lights, especially fluorescent lighting. Or they might be under-responsive, showing little reaction to pain, not responding when their name is called even with normal hearing, seeming not to notice when they're dirty or wet, or having very high pain tolerance. Some children show seeking behaviors, constantly touching everything, seeking intense movement like spinning or jumping, putting non-food items in their mouth past the typical age, or seeking out strong sensory experiences. When these sensory patterns are extreme, consistent, and interfere with daily life, they're worth noting and discussing with professionals who can help you understand your child's sensory profile and provide strategies to support them. Why early awareness matters. I want to pause here and say something very important. Noticing these signs does not mean something is wrong with your baby. Autism is not a failure, a tragedy, or something to fear. It's a different developmental path, a different way of experiencing and interacting with the world. And research consistently shows that early support leads to better communication, stronger social skills, reduced challenging behaviors, and better quality of life for both children and families. The brain develops most rapidly in the first years of life. Neural pathways are forming at an incredible rate. When parents recognize signs early, support can begin sooner during this critical window, communication skills improve more significantly, frustration for both child and family decreases, family stress is reduced, and parents feel more empowered and less confused. Early understanding helps parents meet their baby where they are, not where developmental charts or expectations say they should be. It helps you celebrate your child's unique strengths while supporting their challenges. It connects you with communities of other families on similar journeys. It gives you tools, strategies, and hope. If you want more videos like this, calm, respectful, evidence-based content that empowers rather than frightens, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Comment yes if you stayed until the end, and let us know in the comments what topic you'd like us to cover next. Should we talk about how to bring concerns to your pediatrician, early intervention options, how to support communication development? Tell us what you need. Remember, you're not behind, you're learning. You're being proactive and observant, and your baby is incredibly lucky to have a parent who pays attention, who seeks information, who wants to understand and support them as fully as possible. Thank you for being here, for caring, and for being willing to learn. Your child is blessed to have you.